Hey, welcome to another Valley Forged. Today we're talking laser business. And I think there's sort of a formula, really, at least for getting started. And that's the neat thing about, lasers. You can do just about anything, really. You can follow your passion and whatever that is. There'll be other people who are totally interested in what it is you have to make. It's just a matter of figuring that out, what works for you. And have fun with it. That's the neat thing about lasers. Just have a good time. Just create. But like I said, there is kind of a formula, at least that I've seen. I've taught a lot of people how to start their business on the laser. And what I typically say is people buy on emotion. I know I do. And, a lot of people out there, what I've seen, they buy on emotion. So having things that are hobbies or tourism or pets seem to do really, really well. And things that are easy to buy, right? They don't got to carry it. And right now we're talking about local markets, and we're talking about farmers markets and, makers markets and things like that. Because first of all, it's a lot of fun to get out there and meet the people, and you will get a better idea of what sells, what doesn't sell, how to improve. You'll get better at your craft before you start an online business. A lot of people will try to jump right into selling it like an Etsy or start their own website, a Shopify or something like that, and have no idea what they're going to make and not actually be very good at what they're doing. So you're going to spend tons of money packaging and getting all this prep work and trying to get to your customers and things like that. And you're really not ready yet. It takes a lot more than you might think to start an online store. And frankly, until you're going to be able to sell a lot, it's not a lot of fun. You ship a couple things a week or whatever, and you're not going to talk to people. You're not going to meet anybody. You're not going to get a lot of feedback on what you're making. And for some people, maybe that's exactly what you want. But for me and for what I'm going to be explaining today, I think your best bet is to start out local. Your church, a lot of times they'll have markets at churches or, like I said, the farmers markets, locals, makers markets. Sometimes it can be difficult to find, but there are certainly markets out there in your area. So it's just, or if not, just make one, right? We need to get back outside. We need to get back to meeting each other. And this is my opinion. And I think people are hungry for that community. And a laser is a perfect way to do it. You can make custom things for people. That can be difficult. So I just want to also caution you, if you think you're going to go out there and make custom work for everybody, a lot of this stuff on Etsy is custom work, like personalized. Why don't you do it a few times and figure out if that's what you want to do? This is perfect for some people. Trying to do personal work can be difficult because people are particular. Some people are very easygoing. They're like, oh yeah, it looks fine, whatever. And some people are like, you need to remake this 10 times before I think it's perfect. And I've run into both. And it can be very frustrating when you think that you're doing a perfect job and somebody thinks, well, it's not quite right, or whatever. I would like to change this. And you may not know how to because you haven't honed your skills yet. So this is why I think you really want to hone your skills on the easy stuff. As in videos that I've made prior, I've talked about doing layered projects. The reason is because they're a little bit more difficult, but not that difficult, right? So you're learning how to use the software. You're learning how to use Lightburn. And again, my opinion, but if you're not using Lightburn, you're really kind of doing yourself a disservice because there's so much that it can do. And the more you get to know it, the more I hardly use Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator anymore because Lightburn is such a powerful product, and I've learned how to do a lot of the things that I formerly would have done in those programs in Lightburn. Can't say enough about how much I like that. And I actually got it super cheap. I was part of a makerspace, and so this is something else you might look into. If you have a local makerspace around you that you can join, and a lot of times they'll have all the woodworking equipment, the lasers, the 3D printers, everything. You can learn it all. You can meet the community. They might even have a maker's market set up inside, or they might have their own. This is something I did in the past. I helped develop a maker's market for a makerspace, and that was very rewarding because then I could help the people who were actually there. It was a win-win for everybody, right? So these are the kind of things that you can do and create a community of makers and artisans. Is what's old is new, and I think it's very important. So let's get back to the things that you would sell. I mentioned the layered projects. That is probably kind of a step 2. I would say step number 1, learn Lightboard software to a limited degree because you'll just get better as time goes. You don't need to know everything. Go on to an Etsy, get some things that are for sale that have good ratings. I would say keychains and coasters, because no matter what you end up making down the road, these keychains and coasters will sell at some point. So they don't take a lot of material. You can learn a lot from doing them. You could do painting. You could do MDF stuff that has painting inlays. You could do, like I said, a good place to start is with hobbies. So like gamers. I mean, any gamer is going to know what this is. Non-gamers probably have no clue. But this is a 20-sided dice, and these things sell like crazy. So I have a couple of different ones. Another thing I noticed with coasters, when I first started making coasters, I would make sets of 4. And an interesting thing about the coasters is that people wanted to mix and match. So I ended up, at least half of the people that I sold coasters to took like 2 of these, 2 of those, 1 of these, 1 of those. Very strange. I don't know if anybody out there has also run into this. So this is from League of Legends. I made this for a friend. Don't really sell it on the tables, but this type of thing. So it's not only gamers as far as Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, which is a great market. I mean, you look here at all of this different stuff for gamers that are maybe Dungeons and Dragons or tabletop gamers, and it sells really well. And if you're into that, you could do really, really well for yourself just concentrating on making things for gamers. I mean, check out this D20. So here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. You could have one of these on your table, and this will draw in the gamers instantly as they come by. We're talking about emotion, passion. So they walk by your table, they see this, they will stop. And then you've got a whole bunch of things that will appeal to them. So if you know that you're a gamer, you understand gaming, and your market is gamers, this is an absolutely perfect thing to have. And like I said, you put one of those out, you are golden. And this goes for all of the different hobbies or different things. Have a variety of things in price points. So maybe this thing is $100 or something you're selling it for. And then you want to have a couple things that are $30, and then lots of keychains and coasters that are like maybe $5 each. And so that you can sell to anybody's price point, because a lot of people just want to buy stuff from you. If you are part of their passion, they're going to want to support you. So that's why I say kind of stick to stuff that you're passionate about. Another thing that I've seen do really, really well, and when I say gaming, it could also be computer games. Like I showed you this from League of Legends. If you know, Fortnite, things like that. When people see that, they will instantly come to your table and they will be engaged. Another thing, is like hiking or biking or things like that, outdoor activities. I've seen little maps of the different, keychains with little maps of, say, Tahoe or different camping areas or skiing areas. If that's what you're into, there are so many people that are into that as well. You can actually sell them at those places. I mean, unlimited amount of things, but all I'm saying is that the passion of a different activity often is what will draw people to your table and actually get them to buy. So here's little bike coasters that I created. So it's a cog, and then I put a bike in here in the inside. What I would do is I would do a light piece of wood and a dark piece of wood, and then I would just interchange them. So you'd get a dark on light, light on dark. I painted them and things like that. And you wouldn't believe how many people came to my table because they were bike enthusiasts. And I started a bike nonprofit years ago, and so I understood. Pets, another absolutely amazing thing to work with. You know, these little corgi butt coasters and corgi butt keychains, sold thousands of them, and they will continue to sell. And so you can make a bunch and you're not worried about it because you know that these things are going to sell for years and years and years. Now, if you have a diode laser, as I said in the last video, you're probably going to be limited to things like leather and wood. Whereas if you have a CO2 laser, then you're going to be able to do a lot more acrylic, which is also helpful when it comes to keychains. But I do just fine using, now that I switched from the big 150 watt CO2 laser to the 10 watt a diode laser. I'm still doing just fine with just using leather and wood. There's still so many things that you can make. And hey, I'm not using plastic. I kind of feel a little better about that. Not to say I won't ever use it in the future, but it's just where I'm at right now. Camping stuff, fantastic. So what are these things? I'm sure most of you out there are into one or more of these subjects. And there are tons more. What is your hobby, right? It could be knitting or whatever. Underwater basket weaving, as they would say in the Marines. I mean, just little signs like this for sure. If you're into camping, people will stop by. They will check this out. And I guess another thing that you could make is fridge magnets for all of these same types of things. Bottle openers for camping people. Fantastic way to go. And then once you've kind of mastered being able to do these small things and a couple of big things, then you can kind of get on to doing custom work and things like that because you will understand your laser. So you're not going to have as many times of people saying, well, it's not quite perfect. And you will better understand how to ask the questions of what needs to be done. Your ability to design that will be better. And your ability to be able to, so you'll just have more satisfied customers. So all of this, of course, is my opinion, but it is my opinion after trying many different things and helping many people start their businesses. A lot of people will just say something like, I'm going to make earrings, and they'll just make all different weird kinds of earrings. And yeah, they'll do some sales, but they're not focused on any one emotion point for people. And I see that those people don't do nearly as well. So I guess this is a short video. Just wanted to bring that up. Now, if you have different experience, please let me know. Leave me a comment and I'll make a video on that. All right. See you in the next one.